Death Note was a better adaptation. And mind you, I'm not talking about this Death Note. I'm talking about this Death Note. Oh, well, mine is Fox 9, so they can end with Fox. And I love when I just go on Netflix, when I find out, you know, it's paid. And I just see straight up on front, hey, you one of your favorite animes? We got a live action version for you. And I, of course, go, you know what? Okay, let's watch it. Let's figure out how this is. And then get completely and utterly disappointed. Mind you, though, this is probably how a lot of people felt when those who like watched Ghost in a Shell and they're like, well, this sucks. Which, mind you, I have seen the original Ghost in a Shell. I don't think the Scarlett Johansson one is as bad, but I do believe the original one's way better, especially the message at the end rather than the other one this had. This sucked in all highs heaven. Mind you, how hard is it to make lightning effects? Or, on the other note, to make this look cool. Or at least sound cool. By God, I don't know the specifics behind this one. Who? All I know is that Warner Brothers made it, I believe, and it's basically extremely. There's so many questions. It's just that's the question. It's so bad. Basically one, they're hinting at that they want to make a sequel, basically, which fudge, don't. This takes place between the beginning of the series and the point where they see Shao Tucker in the fifth whatever lab or whatever. Basically between those 2 points is where this takes place. Kind of. This really sucks. I don't know if critics are liking this. I just saw that fans are disagreeing with critics, so I'm guessing not. But by God, this sucks a high heaven. And let me get to the reason why. One, they gloss over some major things in the FULLMETAL ALCHEMIST series, which made it great or had great emotional depth to it. And which, mind you, I understand. You have to cut some things to fit within an hour to 2 hour within an hour to 2 hour movie. I understand this. I do. Flip note of that though, for like about 30 minutes you don't get exposition on what alchemists are, as well as everything else that you actually have to cram into for people to know what alchemy is, as well as who everything is and what everything is. As well as knowing that you shouldn't cut out the bits that show a bond between the 2 main characters, Ed and Al, to show that they are brothers and to show their, bonds. That way when those bonds are, tested, you get some actual drama out of it. You don't do that. I know that for sure as well. Because basically, first off, before anything, they Japanese washed it. And I want to say Japanese washed it because, yeah, they did. And mind you may say, well, it's an anime, it's from Japan. Yes, but the characters as well as the world are based on old Germany. The characters literally at one point in the first anime series go to Germany, and Hitler, or at least some Nazis, say, wow, you guys look like you should be part of the Aryan race. Mind you, I'm not supporting Nazis or anything like, but I do want to say this. Edward and Alphonse Elric are not Japanese. Nor should they look Japanese, nor should the majority of this cast, other than maybe 2 to 3 characters. Because if not, a lot of this one does not make any lick of sense. And 2, it's just so goddamn confusing. Because I can understand why people get angry with the Major in Ghost in a Shell, even though they, at least in that, they give a reason for why she looks like Scarlett Johansson, even though Scarlett Johansson looks exactly like the Major. Or, flip note of that, Death Note, the American remake, they set it in America. Perfect. That's fine. I'm honestly okay with that. And again, Death Note, but this one, again, it's a world that's based around old Germany. The only characters that should actually look Japanese or in the closest Chinese would be Jinglong and the other guys from freaking that other area, freaking in that other country in Full Metal Alchemist world. Other than that, no, they should all look almost white, if not German. Flip note of that as well. There's only like one person, not including Alphonse, even though they should have made an actual suit and not made that CG. One person that should have been freaking, that looked spot on, and I honestly wish he was in a better movie or a better adaptation of Full Metal Alchemist. The guy who plays Hughes. The guy who plays Hughes looks exactly like the character. He looks exactly like the character, and he, if anything, nailed the character, I think, well. They should have given him more to do, but what they gave him, they nailed it down pretty well, and honestly, that actor is probably the best, the best looking of this stuff. And again, so I can get back to some of the other points other than that bit, they gloss over a lot of major stuff, whether it be like, Ed sealing Alphonse's soul to the suit of Alphonse's soul to the suit of armor. When Ed had they gloss over the fact, they gloss over that Ed and Al burnt. They gloss over the fact when Alphonse gets torn apart by alchemy. Mind you, they effed up alchemy in this. Don't know freaking how you effed that up. In the original one, Alphonse basically gets, eviscerated by lightning. The alchemic energy. If I remember correctly, he gets eviscerated by lightning, and thus then disappears. And, Ed's leg also gets evaporated as well. Ed then, claps his hands, using the blood of his leg, seals the soul onto a suit of armor, claps, and then his arm gets taken as well, and he goes, to the door and stuff like that. Well, he goes to the door, I believe, beforehand. But yeah, that's how it goes in the anime. In this, and then, the two brothers then set off on their, basically the two brothers go to Winry stuff, basically they go, Ed and Al show themselves to Winry and the grandma. Things happen. Mustang comes, says, you should, basically sees the drive in him, inspires him to become a state alchemist, tells him that he learned that. Ed gets his arm fixed, trains a bit, goes out training, comes back, burns their house down. Because they don't need anything to come back. They don't need a home to come back to. Because this isn't their home. In this, when they try to create their mom, a tornado forms that sucks Al away, and Ed gets sucked away as well. And then it goes, Full Metal Alchemist. And then later on we get a scene where Ed is dreaming, but he's older, seeing a young Al getting taken away, and then basically the whole bit's where he meets God, shows his leg getting cut off, and everything. This doesn't work as well as the anime, of course, because we don't see them burn their house down. We don't see them burn their house down, which is supposed to symbolize, they can never go home. And even then in the dream, the house is still fine, so I don't know what the fuck that tornado was. I don't know if they did burn their house down or if the house was destroyed from the tornado. I have no idea. But, Ed basically goes through the movements of what his younger self did, which, again, doesn't work as well because the whole thing with Ed being a kid when we see this is, we're seeing a 10-year-old do this, if not younger. It's probably like 7, I think. Doing something, seeing something that's going to traumatize him for life, almost. We see him we see his brother get torn away from him. We see the sadness of when his soul is broken, and then we later on see when his soul, basically when he finally gets the drive to become a state alchemist. We see all that happen, and this is just Ed is already older. We see an older Ed doing this. It's just like we're seeing the guy. We shouldn't see this character. We should see a young Ed doing this, because we do need to. Yes, we're gonna see a child maimed on TV, but mind you, that's how the original one took it. That's how it made it good. And here's the thing. I'm also saying again, this Death Note is a better adaptation. Why? Because at least in that one, they changed so much in it. You can at least go, okay, this is basically a different story, but it's like their own take on the story. This just feels like they saw FULLMETAL Alchemist and be like, all right, we need to chop this up and just smush it together. Because that's what it happens. Soon as after the transmutation happens, it fast cuts to Ed chasing the Don or the priest or whoever who's been saying that he has miracles. That's supposed to be in Lior, I believe. Or Sol Leone. But it's not Sol Leone. It's a place called Miro, which I guess has a military base that the Colonel Mustang stays at, because they just take him immediately there after they arrest the priest. He's just arrested, and that's it. We don't see Mayor Bradley in this one either, nor nor Armstrong. Which, mind you, okay, fine, but we get two jokes about Ed's height, even though he's pretty taller in this version. At the point where he's standing over Riza. The makeup, the character's Mustang. He has he looks like he's wearing a freaking wig. Really, no one could just comb his hair, have long black hair, just comb his hair down. He's the only one that should look Japanese, honestly. Him and Hughes, again, because god dang, Hughes looks so god dang spot on. But yeah, I don't know really what else to say about it. It just, you don't really get an idea of what the purpose is, even when the homunculus pop in, which at one point Mustang just knows what the homunculus are. He just immediately knows, and it's just wait, how did you learn that? It just immediately knew out of nowhere after never meeting them or never having any screen time with them. It's freaking dumb. The homunculus, for what they are, did look somewhat spot on. They honestly kind of did, other than Envy not having the green hair. They looked pretty much spot on almost, but for some reason their tattoos weren't red, which I thought was dumb. It makes it stand out more, but whatever. But yeah, things kind of just happened. At one point, I thought it was getting a little bit cooler when this guy this one colonel or command general who's supposed to be the Bradley kind of this version. He introduces Ed and Al to Shao Tucker, which Shao Tucker at one point says that he's gonna try to find out how Al is or how Al was made, kind of, or trying to find a way to see if that's a way that they can get their bodies back. And I'm like, okay, sweet. And then Ed leaves to go talk to the guy who actually made the Philosopher's Stone, who's in the anime goes with Scar, but Scar is not in this version, and Ishval is only barely mentioned. There's no Ishvalans when they capture the priest guy, nor Rose. There's nothing like that. Even the introduction of seeing the and again, mind you, I am skipping over a lot. The first half hour is literally saying, we're brothers! Wow! You guys must have did some evil transmutation since your arm is metal, your leg is this. This alchemy, you can only make something that's like it or equivalent exchange. You can't do it this other way. The military sucks. It's basically all that for the first half hour. And again, they're explaining to no one. Al's explaining alchemy to the people of Lior, I'm going to say Lior because I don't freaking remember what the movie called it. Lior, and the guy's like, can't you make me a stone saw because your brother effed up my wooden one? And Al's like, I can't do that because your stuff is wood and I can't make wood into stone. And I'm just thinking, no, but you can turn the stone that's around it into a new stall for him. You can do that, Al. It wouldn't take you long, Al. Also, Ed's jacket. Ed's jacket I liked. But yeah, like Shao Tucker at one point, which again, in the anime, the Shao Tucker stuff is a major point in the anime. It's a point to where people are like, spoilers for the anime, go watch it. Shao Tucker merges his daughter and his dog together so he can keep his state alchemy license because he made a talking chimera. Basically, that's a major plot point. That is a major thing that makes it believe, because in the original thing about Ed with the priest is supposed to show that religion has its bad sides. But then with Shao Tucker, you're supposed to see how science itself still has its bad sides as well, because both of them are technically a belief system, and both of them have their darkness, will have their evil in them. But with but in this one, we do see kind of a little bit of that, but then it's kind of swept under the rug as the military takes Shao Tucker and just take him into custody, and then Nina, who is the merged chimera now, disappears completely. Is never mentioned again in the movie. Never say what happens to the chimera. It just disappears. Because they don't have a scar to kill her, we don't know what happened to her. I would like if they said oh yeah, we're gonna use the philosophy to heal you or something, but they never say that. And again, they rush a lot of things, like Al thinking that he might be a fake. That is completely rushed. Charlotte says, you might be a fake. Also, I'm crazy. But you're going to listen to me even though I'm crazy. This is a bad adaptation. This is just so bad. And then the ending literally is that they summon the freaking Cyclops Yu-Gi-Oh card. That's basically it. The main bad guy, which isn't father or the mother, or whatever the fudge her name was. It's this general. He's like, well, I'm gonna use all this, and I'm gonna use these philosopher's stones that we made years ago, and we're gonna make we're gonna make Cyclops people, and they're gonna listen to me for some reason, and we're gonna we're gonna take over the country, and of course the Cyclops eat him. Part that made me laugh so hard is when Gluttony's has to apparently clean up, so he has to eat all the Cyclops, and he just forms this CGI stomach and just goes after them, and I'm like, oh god, I was laughing so goddamn hard at that scene. But yeah, this sucks. Any emotion, any bit of the connection between Al and Ed is lost in this adaptation. Anything, and again, this is at least what the Death Note Netflix remake did better, was that at least in that one, it changed enough in the story to where it would keep you at least interested, you know what? Alright, there was still it still had, in the end, the same basic story as Death Note, but it at least had its own differences in it as well. In the end, Light does eventually become the kind of the Light that we know in the... Ah, crap, my thing's about to come out. But it eventually becomes the Light we know in the anime. But in this, it eventually becomes the Light we know in the anime, and things change. There's some twists, like Misa becoming the one who controls Light. Or Kita's followers helping Light. It's helping, when they find out, it's Hail Kita or something like that. It's cool. In this, it's just a cruddy adaptation. It feels like a money grab. It's just bad. Like, go watch the anime. Go watch Brotherhood. If you want the one from the story from the manga, go watch the original anime if you want, like, kind of the similar story, but a little bit different. They both have their pros and cons, even though I think Brotherhood has more pros than cons. Brotherhood is, I think, probably the best version of Fullmetal Alchemist, other than probably the books. I haven't read the books myself yet, but hopefully I will get to it soon. But yeah, it's a bad adaptation. It's so bad. Go watch the anime. It's way better. You can probably go find Brotherhood on Netflix in its entirety. Okay, so I basically had to... I'm basically cutting off the last bit of the video so I can finish this bit, because I needed to talk... I forgot to talk about, because most of my camera was dying, so I had to wait for it to recharge, but I forgot how they talk about how they freaking neutered alchemy. Because, again, in Fullmetal Alchemist, whenever Ed was about to use alchemy, it always was the loud clap, where he puts his hand almost like a prayer, FYI, almost like a prayer, loud clap, and then electricity comes out, or it's the alchemic energy that then allows you to transmute everything. That, and depending on, and mind you, in the first series, which again, I did like the first series, even though the ending, I do like Brotherhood's story and everything way better. In the first one, I like the idea of like what they did with that one, where blue electricity was almost like regular alchemy almost. Mustang had like an orangish kind of one where when he does his fire snaps. Scar had the red energy because of his just pure deconstruction and everything. And like the Philosopher's Stone had red energy as well. Yeah. And then when I saw Brotherhood, honestly, it did kind of bug me that like all the alchemy was blue until like the end, where I think the Philosopher's Stone's alchemy was red. But I'm like, all right, I kind of get that. Everything else is still alchemy, but then the Philosopher's Stone is different because, you know, it's Philosopher's Stone alchemy. But in this, there is no lightning to it. There's no alchemic energy to signify the alchemy being transformed around them. There's no large clap. When there's no clap, when Ed does his abilities, it's all just happens. And what I'm trying to say to that is, there's no like register for us, the viewer, to know, holy crap, that's alchemy. Or kind of like, if we look at when Ed does his alchemy in the original one, we instantly know that's alchemy, as well as kind of get an idea of how it kind of works. Like, you know, manipulating the atoms and stuff like that. Electricity. It has something to do with the energy of electricity. Cool. That looks kind of awesome. Imagine, it's kind of like if, let's say, but in this, well, first say this, in the movie, things just happen. We're like, in the beginning, where like Ed and Al use alchemy to form toys. It's just like, the stuff, clap, put your hand down, and then all that happens is swirling. Swirling happens, and it makes the thing. It never feels like it's coming from the character that's doing the alchemy, nor anything around it. It just feels like it just happens out of nowhere. It just happens. And the thing is, let's say, I'm going to compare this to another anime, Naruto. Naruto, it has multiple different chakras. It has blue chakra, red chakra, purple chakra, what have you. But the thing is, like, Naruto does this, uses it well. This is to signify different forms of chakra, different forms of, like, the difference between all of them. But the thing that it does differently from, let's say, Fullmetal Alchemist, in Fullmetal Alchemist, and the thing is, in Naruto, they straight up say they can't see chakra. Chakra is something that's completely invisible to them. The only people who can actually see chakra are those with Byakugan and Sharingan, and I believe Rinnegan. No one else can actually see the chakra or the color of the chakra. Even Naruto, when he feels the Nine-Tailed Spirit inside of him forming, he said it feels like it could be red chakra. Other than that, he actually doesn't feel it. I I know in the original anime, I'm not sure if in Brotherhood, but I believe in Brotherhood as well, whenever someone uses alchemy, there is a light registry. People do feel or see the electricity of the alchemic reaction. So this movie can't even take it that like, oh, well, they can't really even see it in the anime and manga. No. They do see this. They do see the alchemic energy. It is a part of alchemy. And again, it allows us, the watchers and or readers, to know that something is happening. It's best, again, another anime I want to bring up, Dragon Ball Z. It's like if Goku just went, Kamehameha! Did Kamehameha. But there was no energy. There was no energy nor any sound. It was just Goku yelling. And just, he goes like that, and then there's a hole in the wall. That's what this felt like. There's no register for us, the viewer, to feel or to know how the alchemy works, or when it's active. It's really bad. It's really bad how they just straight up neuter alchemy. And FYI, in a movie that's called FULLMETAL ALCHEMIST, they use alchemy maybe in the beginning and in the ending. Everything in the middle, there's basically no alchemy. Almost whatsoever. Maybe once. And that's about it. There's no alchemy throughout the rest of it. We never see any alchemy. It all happens off screen. And again, this movie has a crap ton of there are riots in the streets. There are riots in the streets? Yes, there's riots all around us. Yeah, there's a lot of telling, not showing in this movie. Which, I'm going to say right now, there's a reason why Game of Thrones isn't on ABC. Because they need a goddamn budget. Also be able to have a radar rating. But still, they need a goddamn budget. You don't have... If you need money for CGI and all this stuff to tell this story, don't goddamn tell it unless you have the goddamn budget. And FYI, Louis Lovehog, a.k.a. Linkara, the guy who runs the Top of the Fourth Wall, awesome reviewer. There's a good thing that I like that he said. It's like, why am I gonna go pay, or why am I gonna go see a movie? Because he doesn't really watch a lot of the superhero movies, but I do kind of get an idea what he means. Like, why am I gonna go see a watered down, worser version of something that I have the better version of anyways? Which, mind you, I love the Marvel movies. They're great. They're fun. But I can see that working towards something like this, FULLMETAL ALCHEMIST. Like, this would work better if, one, you showed the goddamn alchemy, and you made this like a mini-series. At least a mini-series where you told the different chapters of it. And FYI, there's an easy way that they could easily tie like the whole thing about alchemists and everything so quickly. They literally just have Ed and Al learn about it when they're kids. We see a quick montage of Ed and Al in the beginning, everything happening, kind of how the anime does, arm getting taken off, electricity, of course, doing it. Because, again, without the electricity, you lose some major things. Such as, again, Al just disappears into a void. We don't ever see what happens to him. In this, if we see the alchemy tearing him apart, we see, okay, that's a way to show the imagery of him being taken away or taken apart. It shows the imagery of Ed when they try to activate, when they try to create their mom, instead of making a stupid tornado, which again, I don't know if that actually happened or not, we see electricity shooting all around, changing things. It gives us a sense of knowing stuff other than having to make up some bullcrap about a tornado and all this crap. Or like when Ed loses his arm, you just see electricity going, ah! Something like that. It's a horrible adaptation. This is a horrible adaptation. And this is a horrible adaptation. That's the best thing I can say. It's horrible. It's terrible. Like something like... And again, like, they neuter characters. Like, Colonel Mustang basically gets no screen time for us to learn about him. So he's literally just... And, like, there's no, like, funness to him either than the Colonel Mustang and the other one were like, I want tiny mini skirts! No, there's none of that. There's only... I'll make all the one more tiny Musica. There's none of that. It's only... it's like, Ed, you shouldn't do this. Ed, you shouldn't do this. No. Bad. No. You should listen. You wanted to be a devil of the military, and now you are. So suck it up. Yeah. Uh-huh. And in the end, use my God. it just sucks. Even his, like, flamethrower ability sucks. Because, yeah, in the anime, he creates pockets of air, uses alchemy, blows it up. Cool. In this, he snaps his fingers and then just shoots a torrent of fire out. It's just like, that makes it way less cool. God, Riza basically gets no screen time either, so I don't think we even get her name in this adaptation. Hughes gets the most screen time, but we miss when, like, his daughter is born, for one, which, again, allows us to be more connected with Hughes, especially with Ed learning to use alchemy, learning that he has the clap alchemy by warming up water for Hughes' wife when she's giving birth. In this, it's just, yeah, he just knows it, and he just knows how to do the clap alchemy. That's it. This movie sucks. Again, and I think I might have left it in for my edit if I didn't. The Death Note one, way better adaptation. That's so much way better. Because again, at least that one, I can look at that one and think, okay, this is just Ryuk screwing on with another dude named Light. Fine. I am perfectly okay with that one. Like, that I can at least see as an alternate timeline. This just feels like they took the original one, took out all the important parts, like Scar, the Ishvalans, you know, it's supposed to be like goddamn Germany, and they just, like, smooth over all of that and just, like, try to compact everything. We even lose the horrible scene of Nina being murdered by Scar, but in the end, like, that was, in a sense, a mercy killing. But even then, that is still bad. And, like, seeing Al and Ed, you know, crying over that, the sadness because of that, and that, you know, leading Al or Ed to become more, you know, to be like, I'm not going to let this happen again, or go after Scar. We don't get any of that. And God, no, I don't want a sequel to this garbage. Fudge, no. Are you kidding me? I'd rather have a Green Lantern sequel before I want this garbage back. Fudge me. And mind you, I thought they were going to end this the same way they ended Brotherhood. But no, luckily they didn't. Because I'm going to say, oh God, no, you have not earned that at all. You have not earned any bit to try to even acknowledge the awesome ending of Brotherhood. You have no right. And even then, Brotherhood's ending, I still think they should have used the Philosopher's Stone they had. Because again, self-sacrifice in that moment to get Al back. Even though Ed did was still pretty cool. And they made the door look awesome. That's another thing that looked cool. And God. They made God look awesome to the truth. That looked pretty cool. Other than that, terrible adaptation. Cool. The only characters that looked like how they should have was Hughes and Al. But then again, Al was CG, and I would have preferred if they would actually made a metal suit for him. But yeah, this was garbage. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. It's bad. Oh, and the homunculus looked about right. But again, don't watch it. It's bad. It's bad. If you like the original source material, don't watch this. There's not even really anything in here that I could say is, like, so bad it's funny, other than that one scene with Gluttony. Other than that, this is just a bad adaptation. Don't watch it. Death Note I would rather go see again. And because, again, Death Note was at least had its own funnier moments. And it was like, huh, wow. Stuff like that, or had some cool ideas. This is just a straight cash grab. It feels like, let's make a live action. No, just go watch the animes. Either one. I would prefer Brotherhood, because Brotherhood's the best one, I think. But either one's good. Mind you, they whitewashed Rose in the Brotherhood, and that annoyed the fudge out of me, too. But still, go watch Brotherhood. But either way, thank you all so much for watching. Which videos that I've done. Check out my channel. Subscription buttons around there somewhere. I don't know if I have end screen cards still. But anyway, thank you for watching. Check out the videos. This was a bad adaptation. It's horrible. Ghost in a Shell, the Death Note. This one are way better. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please share my videos, and we will see you later. Also, they didn't have the clap sound effect, which made it doesn't seem like just Edge just going instead of having the cool sound effect. What the fudge?